right. One, two, three. We're here with Zevi G, the artist, here in the flesh, not on a canvas or on a print or on a sculpture or even NFT form. He's in the real life form right here. And Ian, the Billionaires Club, myself, we're hosting the podcast.
Just want to
Zev,
give,
what's going on, my man?
I want to
We're
jump in
happy
real
to
up?
have
quick and
you.
say thank you to everybody, that subscribed right now. You can subscribe here or down here, right? We're
Yeah,
gonna put
yeah,
the links
yeah.
in
We'll put
there.
that in. We'll plug it in. Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
everybody for real with the love. Ian and I just started with this. So I think this will be like episode 4, 5, or 6. But it's been
And I just
awesome.
want to
We love it.
say,
Yeah, and we have Zevi on.
yeah.
We love you, Zev. And what's going on with you, bro? Where you at right now? You in the studio or you home?
Well, I'm sorry. I just wanted to jump in and say that this hoodie right here, I get so many compliments on. I don't know what it is, I think it's just the bright green colors.
Oh wow, I didn't even recognize. That's yours, bro. That's
Yeah,
your
I
fire.
get one compliment per day at least. Like just random people like, "Hey, that's a nice." I'm like, "Okay."
I love that sweater. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah. And it's that.
Seth, while we're even talking about the hoodie, who is your character? Or maybe not who is it, but that is your character. Can you explain to us like the character that you like went with? What made you come up with this character? What is it about? I see you have him on a horse. That sweater is fire right there. I love it.
Thank you, and definitely. So, thank you for having me. And anybody watching this, you're definitely at the right podcast. It's two amazing guys that I know and I've known, and they definitely have a lot of knowledge to share. And I'm sure the people that they're going to bring on are simply amazing. So this is a great podcast to follow, and I'm not sure if it's down or up, but definitely subscribe. So.
Love.
Thank you.
What's up, guys? Ian is wearing an awesome color, that mint hoodie. I always got compliments when I wear it. I kind of ruined mine and I don't have it, so a lot of this artwork and merch is limited, but I'm wearing a red one, which I released.
Fire. Damn, I
Thank
missed
you,
the hoodie memo, man. Shit. Yo, I love this hoodie, though. I like the mint right there. That one's
so you're now part of the 456 Collectors Club, so all the future merch drops are going to be offered to the community first. So you're going to have the first opportunity to get my next hoodie. And you asked me about my character. So
yes.
My character is based off of a dog. So I have a female pit bull. Her name is Faith. She's getting older. And I was drawing a whole bunch of characters when I was looking for which character I wanted to run with and make in a sculpture form. I understood how to make the sculptures before drawing them. And I was looking for the right character, and I drew a side profile of my pit bull.
Okay.
I added some of my imagination, and that's what this character is based off of.
Wow.
It's got no gender. It's got no gender unless I call it a Mr. or a Mrs. No color. It's just, complete unity. It's a red-nosed pit bull that I have, and she's a female. So, it's whatever. There's no gender and color.
Very broad, right? Universal.
I'm still kind of getting technical, familiarized with the crypto and how everything works in that realm. But I was able to join in briefly on one of your conversations from the Discord, and you spoke about 456. Because it's a question I get asked a lot too. And then I saw on there you were explaining.
You want to know your shit. You want to know your shit, man.
Yeah. It's 456 is from this childhood game, right? Zev used to play with dices, and if you roll a 456, it's associated with winning. So it's like the whole winning culture.
Zev, can you touch on that? What is
that message?
Yeah. What is 456? 45's Collectors Club. The figure I get, it's really dope. It kind of has a Disney Mickey Mouse vibe. It's cool that it comes from personal story, real life, your pit bull, Faith. That's dope. I love that it's universal. It kind of carries its own value, and there's no limit in marginalization to it, right? And universally, right? It kind of is accepted in every realm, commodity, niche, whatever it may be, community rather. You know, so I really love it. But can you explain, like, I get the figure a bit, very dope. I love it personally. I think it's awesome. But what is like this whole 456? What's the whole collection? What's the whole meaning, you know? And let's also, if you can attach to that, and I don't want to layer too much, but explain like who you are. You're Zevi G, you are the artist. I touched on initially, like we got you here in real life form because like everyone I feel like knows you. You have like 70, 80,000 followers on Instagram. You have so many thousands of people following you everywhere, you know? But they know of you, I feel, from your art, your prints, your canvases, your sculptures. Now even in the NFT digital form, they get to see what you do. Who are you, if you could tell them who you are in real life, you know, as you know, from the mouth of the artist itself? I'd love for you to touch on a few things there.
No problem. No problem. So I want to go back a little bit before I forget, but you mentioned this is either the 4, 5, or 6 podcast. So that's awesome. I came at the perfect time because 4, 5, 6. That's what it's all about. My upbringing, I grew up without a TV in a very religious home. And however my life took me, it got me to a point where I was a serial entrepreneur when Instagram came about and social. I do remember MySpace. I had MySpace. I remember Facebook. But Instagram really took the world by storm. It was very visual, very engaging. And when I started on Instagram, I was more posting my lifestyle. So I was a serial entrepreneur, the things that come with being a serial entrepreneur. So the parties, the woman, the cars, and all that. And I was gaining a social media following just from that. And that's all I was posting. I was posting partying with my boys, even partying with Dean. So
you were just in the beginning organically showing your life, what you were doing, and just like naturally amassing some sort of following or attention or buzz, right? Just being very active, I guess, on the app.
Organic and authentic.
Yeah. Organic and authentic, and you know, people were following to see those things, and from there, I wanted a stronger meaning, and that's why I started creating art. It wasn't about anything more than a meaning and putting something good out there. My grandfather was a painter, so I understood and I believe that art is a positive thing in this world. And I started drawing a whole bunch of characters. I sold off some businesses to give myself more time to you know, put into this craft. And I came from an understanding of casting things from some of the businesses I previously owned. Okay. And I drew out a whole bunch of characters. And growing up without a TV and understanding how my generation and my friends, we engaged through conversations with TV. We'd smoke, we'd watch South Park, we'd watch Simpsons. I think Simpsons is definitely one of my favorite cartoons, and like I liked it, we vibed with it. And
I'm trying to think right now. You mentioned growing up without a TV, but you've watched these episodes, these shows with your boys growing up. Because I got like the character gives me like a Disney energy, and I feel like it very much so was like globally accepted. Like everyone loves your character, you know. I feel like around the world, you could be in China and you're gonna naturally like kind of vibe with it, kind of like Mickey Mouse, you know, like what I'm touching on. That's really what I see. So I'm like, okay, you had to have grown up with some sort of, you know, animation or character absorption, you know. So you were with your boys and you watched South Park, you watched these shows.
So where I grew up, we didn't have TV, and my boys didn't have TV. So what? Correct. I correct. In an ultra.
Up, bro, I gotta ask you the next question. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in a town called Lakewood, New Jersey, and it's an ultra-Orthodox community.
Okay. Okay. No one's watching TV at all. No one's watching television.
Correct.
So
now,
where did you consume those South Park? Because I'm trying to follow that there. Where did you consume like The Simpsons, South Park?
So I figured I could write a book about my life. So getting everything in 30 minutes is going to be tough. But my dad passed when I was younger.
Yeah.
And at the age of 12, I, was already, buying packs of cigarettes from, those machines without anyone watching, or finding a way to put a pack of cigarettes in my pocket and running out before someone could catch me. I probably started smoking around 12, 13, marijuana. And that's when I was able to, buy a bag, break it in half, make a little bit of money. And that's how I was able to buy what I wanted at that point. Probably at the age of 14, 15, I started watching Simpsons. I had my own apartment when I was 16. And definitely at that point,
I'm just trying to follow along. Okay, I got you. And there's no limit. We could speak for longer than that, but I want the audience to really understand what you're saying, So I got you with that. So touch on even I love how you
the teenager.
Yeah, so that's something you naturally like, right? You got into it. You were passionate about it. Later in your life, Instagram comes out. You have this natural passion. You start with organically building up an audience, probably just learning like, what is this app? Like, what is this thing gonna do? Let me just post on it to start. You mix that naturally with like your entrepreneurial, what you passion that you naturally just carry as entrepreneurs, we just carry it. And then boom, one day I guess something flicks. You're like, I don't want to show my personal life. Let me show my artistic side. I really want to build on that. And that also mixed in with like the back end of like the business side. You come from a family, I think, right? I don't know. I know we touched on some stuff in the past, but with casting, right? So you have this experience. So there's really like a conglomerate of things that just really connected at that one moment for you to start launching art. Can you give me a background on that? Because I know I spoke to you with that. But like, how did you learn like on the business end? So we get that you grew up, we get how the Insta started, we get the passion with creating and the artistic, type of creating this character. But how did you like on a business perspective? Give me the background on that with casting and how this all comes to life. How does a 6-foot statue of yours come to life? Like, tell me that whole story. It's honestly amazing.
So just to finish up on the cartoons, so probably 14, 15, 16, I was watching probably a different group of friends, or some of my friends, were also watching cartoons at that point. Yeah. And it was a way that we communicated. I still have in my head the Blame Canada song from South Park. I don't know if you do or Ian does.
Yeah,
but,
I love South Park.
And, it was just a way we engaged. So I figured it was a good method to deliver a message to my generation. And that's what us artists are should be doing, or at least that's what I want to do. The business side, I did not get any businesses from my family. I did not get any funding from my family. My family at that point did not have anything to provide to me.
Okay. I thought your dad was in the casting. Maybe I made an error with that, but okay. So touch on that, like how the business side, because that's quite interesting. I remember you saying something to
me. So I guess I'd be the traditional story from nothing to making something. So every once in a while you hear that American story.
Yeah.
I wanted better for my children. I wanted better for myself. I wanted, nice things, I guess. And I chose the wrong ways to make money. And I ended up getting locked up with no father and no direction. I came out of jail and I sold some of my assets. I had a Porsche. I always liked fast things. I had some motorcycles. And I started my first business, stucco business. I bought scaffolding.
How old is Zevi G at this moment? Like
21.
Locked up. How old?
21. I came out and started this business.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Continue. This is awesome. Okay.
No real help. I did have an older brother that maybe I called and asked the question and he gave me an answer. But past that, I have 2 older brothers, so maybe I called both of them, but nothing really past that. That was my first business. And when I sold it, I don't remember X amount of years ago, it had around 35 employees and it did 3-4 million a year. So it wasn't a crazy and volume business, but it was a successful business for many years. with around 30 employees. It's also a seasonal business in New Jersey. It isn't an all year round operation, but that's an operation which obviously taught me. So I guess at 21, I learned how to make things, because somebody like you have a beautiful home, but let's say you decided you wanted a logo on the exterior of your house. Who's going to make it for you? It's going to be your stucco guy. He's going to have to figure out a way to cut it out of foam, stick it on your wall, and then coat it and make it the color you want. So essentially, it's an artist that's doing commission work for designers. If they want your house orange, purple, blue, and green, you're going to make it those colors with the same line. So that definitely gave me an understanding of specialty finishes and fabrication on the specialty level, because in that fabrication, somebody could want it to look like marble, they could want it to look like numerous different materials when it's not that. So that,
and I remember we used to know each other like from way back then. So like when you still had that business, you were like, hey, I'm thinking about selling my stucco business and just going straight into this. So it's cool, you know, to see the evolution. Like,
let me ask you, Zeb, did you live in Miami, or Ian, did he live by you? Like that you guys
kind of. I mean, like Zeb flew in, like, you know, the whole Miami lifestyle.
That whole okay, the whole Zevi like pop bottles lifestyle. He flew in.
Flying for a weekend, a day or two, whatever. You know, like, right?
Yeah. It was that life. It was that life. A lot of traveling.
That's so. How long were you in this stucco business? How long did you do this type of work?
So I started that business in 2006, and I believe I sold it in 2015.
Okay. So you ran with it 9 years or so. You ran with that business a bit. That's what's up. And then what happened after that? So from the stucco business, you're learning all these things, which is I get it, full scope now from a macro, picture. It's dope. So what happened next?
So I understood fabrication and business, and I opened up several more businesses, all in that scope. Okay. And I as well opened the concrete casting business in 2007. So I opened numerous businesses. I opened up a restaurant even. Correct. And I sold my shares, didn't lose money. For me, that was a huge win. And just numerous different businesses. I got involved in a cannabis business as well at a certain point. And that was my goal, just keep building and, keep growing.
Like after you build that first business, it works. It's amazing. There's like some sort of, not secret sauce. I don't want to use that term. I don't really like it myself, but some sort of angle that you go about it. And it's a really good business. You say, like, I use this term, I'm like tapped in. When there's something I'm doing and I could just make this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like these variables work, I make money. It's a good system. Now let me go and duplicate this. Other like niches, right? I feel like you had the same vibes. Like you created a business, you know how to make it work. Now it's like, okay, let me go build systems. It's almost just like building systems, right? After that, how many more little systems can I develop that will make me money, right?
Correct. And when I ended up having issues with my stomach, and I was young, and I drank a lot. I lived a very fast life, and I don't know what exactly attributed to it, but my stomach ripped, and I noticed it when I was drinking wine. And when I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "How much wine did you drink?" I said, "Maybe I had a bottle at the meal," thinking that wasn't that big of a deal. Doctor looked at me and he said, "A bottle at a meal, that's not normal." But even though
what happened? The doctor looked at you and what?
He said, "A bottle, for a meal, that is a lot." But
if you're having a meal with someone and you're sure, it's not really a lot,
It's different than just him having it, though.
Okay.
But the doctor's gonna tell you just a few sips a day. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's not gonna tell you a few bottles a day or whatever. But
but definitely the nightclubs, bottle after bottle after bottle, night after night after night. So like I said, I don't know what contributed, to it exactly. Could have been, having all these businesses. But I ended up with with medical conditions, IBS and colitis, and that gave me my interest into cannabis. And that's, after that was when I, started looking into that. But I also started looking into my life, what I wanted. If I go tomorrow, what's the cars? What's all that going to do for me? And I started searching for a deeper meaning. I ended up getting married after that. I have 2 kids and 1 more on the way. And seeing my children smile, thank you. Seeing my children smile and buying them, clothing and things they want. My wife hates it because I never say no, but that gives me.
It feels good, right? It's like super fulfilling, man. It's like, all right, let me get back to my hustle. I just gave her this little pony, right? She's going crazy for like 2 weeks. I can't wait. I have a girl on the way, and I just can't. I know the vibes. I feel already. When you give, you feel these things. I give, all my guys, my boys, my family, and it's amazing. I feel you already. I can't imagine how that feels with your own kid. It's like,
and then
Ian's like, all right over there.
Yeah.
I can't wait
to catch up to you guys eventually, but I'm still taking my time,
It's Matt McConaughey over here, bro,
Hey, it's at the right time. If I would have done this at the wrong time, it wouldn't have worked well. So everything is at the right time.
Yeah.
So let me ask. So you have the stucco, like you're towards like the latter, like the you said 2015. You stopped doing that, right? Basically, you left that business.
Yeah, I believe 2015 was when a lot of things, started changing.
This is when you started kind of looking internally, figuring out what you want to do. Deeper thoughts are happening right around here, right?
Correct. And I looked at my assets and I said, what could give me 40 hours a week to become an artist and still, financially support me, if that made sense. Okay. If I wasn't the direct, operator, if it made sense, it was an asset I chose to keep, and it allowed me to, create art, to sit there painting all day.
I remember one of the first Art Basel parties we threw down here in Miami. That was pretty badass. We had Bobby, who is now the CEO, owner of Triller, and then Alec Monopoly, the boxer guy, Joe, right? We had some cool people, man, and that was like my first Art Basel party that we did together, And we've been continuing at the SLS just last year, and now coming up April 6th for Crypto Week. I overheard that we got the people from Tron also that are going to be there. So it's going to be some cool networking and that type of stuff too. I want to touch up on that too.
It's pretty awesome. I've been doing some podcasts just because I'm promoting my PFP collection, but it's not people I know and I know for years. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. 2015 to 2022, we're about to co-host.
I love
on April 6th.
Yeah, I love that you do the events and all that. You too, Ian.
With Nulcha shows from author, Michael knows him as well too. We're on the phone a few times.
He's good people. Yeah. So what happened now at this moment? Give me the magic, bro. Because I know right here you're creating the open lane or the window to be creative, right? You basically that's what you're doing here. So now you have this time. So now what happens? You just zone in.
I zone in. I draw hundreds of characters, just off my head. I was drawing on everything, character after character, all different unique characters, just straight from my head. And then one of them stuck with me, and it was the one that I made off my Pitbull side profile. And once I created that, I was in a meeting for a business, and the business was looking into making gummy trays, and they wanted me to design how the gummy trays were going to be and how the gummies were. And then I just looked at the guy. He was going to print the gummy tray, and I said, "Hey, can you print this character?" He said, "Yeah, draw it in front of me." I drew it right there, and I still have everything of that, and that was where it evolved. He put it in a printer, my drawing. It came out pretty close to my drawing, and then I had to then I had to, or it came out actually exactly to my drawing, just how it was on paper to in a 3D form. It wasn't perfect, so I had to work and adjust it, but I had a physical piece to work with. Before that, I was carving them out of foam and coating them.
What? Out of what?
Out of foam. I carved a few out of foam because I had that understanding how to do it, but I wasn't getting the exact perfection on, you know, replicating them one by one, and the amount of time it would have taken to do that wouldn't have been realistic to have a career. So it made sense to make a prototype and then base things off of that. And the method I used to be able to do that was creating 3D digital files. So once I had the first one, I had the 3D properties of it, and I was able to work off of those 3D properties and create a whole series, kind of like The Simpsons and South Park, of 300 plus characters, and put it in a file. And it costed money at that time, you know, to create 300. But fast forward to 2022, I now hold a tremendous amount of assets to bring into the metaverse. I'm happy. I never look back, and you know, I look forward, and I look forward to continuing to make art.
Yeah, let me ask you something, bro, because like you grew up in Jersey, right? You mentioned the town. Yeah, so you grew up in this type of town where, you know, I know you mentioned, then there's no TV, then 16, you get your own apartment, you like sponge, you know, this animation, the sponge, all this stuff, right? The Simpsons, South Park, you love it. You're very entrepreneurial. I want to ask you this question. What made you, what do you think made you entrepreneurial like this? Like what gave you this type of business mindset?
My dad died when I was really young, so I can't ask him that question. Probably coming from nothing, poverty. Probably poverty.
Nothing. Would you say that there was even just like the mailman? Like, was there someone along the way that just like gave you that game, or maybe not even gave it to you, but you just saw it and gave it to yourself? You know, that happens too all the time. I mean, I'm just curious because it's like such a cool story. It's so unique. You know, I'm cool. We know so many people. I got to tell you, you're like a one of one, bro, in my phone book. You know, there's very, very few of you where you sculpt a piece of art today and sell it for $100,000. It's awesome. I think Alec Monopoly, I think there's a handful of other guys that do this right now, you know. There's a good amount, but not many at all. Very fair, very few. So I'm just curious, what made you, you know, how'd you get so business savvy? You can't think of one thing. I guess there's a compilation of many things, you know, along the way. Because to me, it's so interesting. I'd love to know. And then 16,
I was
consumed
nobody. And the reason I'm saying it's so definitive and clear, because I wish maybe there would have been somebody. Because how it started was 12 years old. I didn't want to have to steal. I didn't want my mother to say you can't have it. How was I going to get it? So I bought a bag of weed. I broke it in two, and I sold it for double the amount of money. So I think the poverty is what drove me specifically, and not having guidance, you know, led me into that life of partying. You know, I was a 15-year-old kid. Somebody tells me, "Hey, come sell pills in the club," and I have the club on lock. So I started clubbing from a little kid.
You're super solid. You're so solid, bro. And now you're even more solid in my book, but you already were solid. But not that you did that. You know, don't do that. We don't promote that. But I could feel you. I could see the young Zevi G, you know, Zev with his mom, like, all right, and you're getting this type of energy, and then the gut and your heart, your tummy is telling you, I gotta get up, pull up my pants, and go do what I gotta do. And essentially, you did what you had to do, and you were able to form things. Like, I feel like, you know, I kind of was this very same way in a sense. Once I got to college, it was hustle zone, you know? But I was able to be creative and, you know, mix things together and go down a beautiful route, let's say. It comes with its things. But you too, right? It's not all shiny and shit, but there's a process. But it's really cool, man, to see that. You know, I think you were motivated by your heart, just wanting to, you know, give back, take care of the family. You did your thing. You became business savvy naturally. Then the creative, you mixed the two. That's not that common, the art and the business. It's not that common. So you have that. Now, after you start to zone in, you stop with the stucco, you're zoning in. Now, what's the process? Because about now, 2015 or so, a little few years or a year or so after, I feel like your social completely changed. You went full art. You went fully art, to the world. The interface was no longer really just you as a person. You really found that you tapped into this character, and like you mentioned, building this whole land and community and characters. And so you since 2015 to like 2020, the focus was these events that we just touched on. You're building these sculptures, you're building the brand, right? That was basically it. A focus heavily on sculptures and releasing to the community, building up. And now more recently, very recent, you just jumped into.
I just want to add one thing. You asked me
Yeah.
what my drive was. So, and yeah, we don't recommend anyone doing anything illegal. There are laws for a reason. They're there to protect people. But after I sat in jail and I came out, my biggest driver was never going back there. When I left, the guards would say to you, "See you next year," and I looked at them. You never fucking see me again. And that was obviously my biggest driver. And I believe, and I just want to add this, I believe in honesty and integrity. And I think that is the most lucrative commodity to a businessman. Obviously, I see sharks and people not having integrity or good etiquette. I don't believe that wins in the long run. And my life has been great, working with honesty and integrity. So I think that's extremely important with business.
Yeah, I love that you just mentioned that. I love that you just mentioned that. And just to touch on that one point, because I know from 2015 to like 2020 or so, you focused heavy on the art, the sculptures, building the brand. You did a great job, the events. And then now, more recently, you jumped into the metaverse space. Can you just touch on this collection, this metaverse, this whole, what you're doing, what your involvement is with your whole collection, M456?
Yes, I think you kind of nailed it, because for many years, like you met Alessandra, I've been working with her. She always told me, talk more, talk more. I'm like, it's not about me. It's about the artwork. It's about the message. I don't want to talk. It's selling. I make X amount of pieces, and this collection definitely got me out of the box. This collection is very, very different. And I kind of like it. It's a social experiment as well as an art project. It's all in one, and for me as well, it is an experiment. And what makes it so unique, it's a profile picture collection called the PFP collection, and it's a collection. It's a collection of 4,560 NFTs. And what's special about this collection, for one, I believe it's the ultimate work of art. The fact that you have the certificate of authenticity with the NFT and the print, which has your mint number on it, and then the art figure, the color of your NFT. So holding that together, it's just the perfect documentation of art. And then aside from it is the community building. This 4,560 people that are going to have a profile picture that they rock with, that they associate with, that they communicate with. There's 4,560 community members. Down the road, once the collection sells out, you mingle with people, network with people. You could, it could help your business. It could help your life. You can make friends. We're getting ready to set up a poker night in Discord for the community, so stuff like that. Also getting ready to set up a class on security so people don't get hacked with their wallets. It's community building. This collection is driven by a Discord and social channels. Social audio, and you guys were with me in social media. I mean, you guys are leaders in social media, not me. I'm just a participant. But it's a whole new era, because it's about social audio. Like, I learned that word a couple months ago, and I'm like, shit, that's an amazing word, social audio. I never heard that shit before.
Social audio.
First time I'm hearing that right now. That's why I'm so happy to be doing this podcast,
Yeah, it's so crazy you just said that. I love the two words, because I've been naturally feeling this. And like you said, we're in this space. I'm naturally this, like, on the cusp of these things before they almost even happen these days. That's how much, like, intertwined I am with this like technology and these social apps. So it's crazy you said that, like Twitter Spaces, like Farak, shout out to Farak. But like he goes on the Twitter Spaces, it's strictly, there's 250,000 people following his Twitter. They know his voice. Gary
Yeah.
Vee basically said this too, like many years ago. Crazy. Shout to Gary with that, you know, where he's like, they like hear me. I forget what he touched on, but yeah, like his audio.
Twitter, YouTube, Clubhouse,
Yeah,
Instagram,
that's
Facebook.
crazy you mentioned that, man. That's crazy you mentioned that.
So it completely changed, and that becomes the social experiment, because before I used to post an image or a story, and if you want to send me a message, send me a message. Here I'm going in a public chat room, and I'm posting in a chat room on Discord, and I could communicate. Every single member could hop in, ask a question.
Yeah.
Twitter Spaces. Anyone could raise their hand and try to get up and speak. You could also invite people to speak.
Crazy, bro. Crazy. I think it's amazing because I think we're naturally getting to a point where it's like, what's the rawest form of a human feeling what I'm saying? Like a picture isn't going to do it. A video can't really do it as much, but if they can hear you, they can feel you, right? So it's like we're getting down to like the rawest, naturalist form of engaging with another person to where they feel you. Like I would never think audio, but now I would, you know, coming into this new world, reality, right, in this current moment. But audio, my voice or your Zev, your voice could be that more impactful than like a 20-minute video of like the art doing something, you know, or whatever it may be. I don't know. And that may be just a statement, but you know what I mean? I feel like that, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%, and it kind of works great with the PFP collection, because the PFP collection is community driven. Once I sell out, I don't own the NFTs. I just made the artwork. You guys own it. And here we have a collective of so many people. So it's a completely different experiment. But art is about, you know, for me specifically, it's talking to my generation. I have the utmost respect for the older generations. I would hold the door open for any older individual. But, you know, I'm talking to my generation, to the people that speak my language.
Yeah, it's like they buy your art, and that's valuable, of course, but then the value almost transcends into the vibration levels of the communication and the community engagement. Like that level of vibration almost becomes the value, the true, real value of this piece of, let's call it art, let's call it sandbox land, let's call it whatever it may be, right? It literally comes down to how alive and how authentic is that, you know, feeling there. Did we lose you, Zev? Oh, we got back. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you good. You good. But I love this thought, but I don't want to. What would be your thought on this? Because I want to ask you one more question. I know we got to wrap it up.
So I want to get a bit past that, because it's not just speaking to my generation. You know, there are many different things that can make art great art, but a lot of people would tell you the greatest art is art that speaks to your generation and art that documents the times. With this profile picture collection, 456 Collectors Club, owning one of those NFTs speaks to our times, and it documents the times for the future. And what you said is dead on, and that's the documentation that I'm talking about, the documentation of social audio, that switch. And it's still emerging. It's still so new, because if you go back a year ago, everyone was on Clubhouse. All these people, Farouk had 100,000.
It hit. It's kind of like CryptoPunks. Like these new things hit sometimes a little too early for everyone to catch it. But yeah.
And now we're on Twitter Spaces, and Twitter Spaces is demanding more of that social audio at the moment. So it's still new. It's still very new. And what's going to happen when Instagram adds social audio?
I was just about to say in my head, Ian, we're going to be able to go on and click like speak. Like it's not.
Is the game over? Is the game over?
IG Live stories, you know, and I buzz you guys in, and then we all are on there.
Instagram too. You know? I told you. What'd you say, Ian?
Instagram, IG Live features, you know, and then we just connect on there too, you know. So it's coming, you know.
Yeah. But
I
the
can see
audio
it.
is just effortless. To click a button and just join a community, like a chat that's like 4,000 people.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. It's very cool, bro. I really appreciate the angle you just gave us. That was game there, and I'm in this space all day. It's cool to hear from you. So the last thing, Zev, I want to ask you. I'm personally interested in it too myself. I can't lie. But what made you, or what would you say rather, to someone watching this that wants to become an artist? They have some sort of business savviness, some sort of creativeness to them, but they just like, what would you say to them? What would be your brief 1, 2, 3, or whatever you'd say to someone watching this that really wants to be an artist?
So there's so much to being an artist, but if you're truly passionate about creating and you're passionate about your message and what you want to put out in this world, because it could be I'm going to create other things that are not associated with 456 land in the future, but as long as you believe in it and you're passionate about it, create it, and everything else will follow. And that's the only advice I would give. It does help to have business skills. Unfortunately, in the art world, talent alone isn't going to take you all the way, unless you get extremely lucky. So you definitely need some business skills. With the profile picture collection, it definitely takes a business mind. I was brought in as an artist, but I ended up, running the business at the moment because it's associated with my art. I want to make sure that the customers, the clients, the collectors are taken care of. So definitely build a good team if you want to create an NFT collection. Definitely take part in the social experiment, because if you want to, I put out a profile picture collection without doing social audio prior. It's very new. It's very new to all of us. But I wish 6 months before I released the collection, I was out there, on social audio in the clubhouses. I wish I would have built my Discord a bit earlier.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice in the Web3 world. Definitely build up Web3 connections way before you want to release your art.
I like that a lot. So get involved in the space. I feel that even with whatever I want to do, anything we want to do, I love it. It's universal. Get involved in that space, build those networks, those connections, right? Network heavy, those relationships, and then, almost become a voice in it and then release something, right? Or something like that. Yeah, because
that would be the best advice I could give. If somebody would have given me that advice, I would have thanked them and I would have worked accordingly.
Yeah, 100%. No, I appreciate the feedback, bro. And I'm happy to have you on here. We love you. You're amazing. And let's wrap it up with that. Zeb, we keep it up, man. We can't wait to see what's to come. I got to look up these hoodies now, man. I might have to go buy one of these hoodies. You know what I mean?
And then just to remind our audience again that's listening, April 6th, it's going to be at the SLS in South Beach, right? Crypto.
Yeah.
And
only
they're co-hosting together, right? For all the NFT holders in the 456 land.
That's what's up. You both hosting this.
Right?
You're both co-hosting it on April 6th. Where is it?
At the SLS, and it's only for the NFT holders of 456 Collectors Club. You can mint the NFT at 456collectorsclub.com. You can learn more about the collection, about me on the website. And thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you. Good to see you both as well.
Always. Right. We'll link all that stuff below in the description. That's what's up. Good luck with that event, both of you. I'm sure I'll speak with you guys. Yeah. But all love, bro. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.